It's over there on the stand. I got it. Trying to milk and film at the same time. So I'm not doing a full milking. This video's meant to be, isn't it, Cochise? You did good, brother. You did good. Well, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. This didn't go according to plan, but see, this is one of those moments where you go, okay, man plans and God laughs. I came up to the barn to check it and to film in the barn because it's typically easy for me to do a couple of videos or different types of videos in the barn. And Enoli had gotten out of her pasture and over to a different domain. She's fine. And she stayed with the goats, but you know what she was? She was up against the gate with Cochise. She has been fully accepted. We just have to keep an eye on things, but that's our Great Pyrenees puppy that we have, and we just love her. But anyway, I went, okay, so I brought her in. She will bark if I'm in the barn, so I'll have to fix that after this episode. So let's take it to the driveway. Is that all right? It's a deep subject. No one is coming to help you. Let me say that again, especially to you ladies. No one is coming to help you. Let that sink in. So this could be a very unpleasant video. It's an unpleasant topic, and it is meant to be unpleasant because it is time for you to consider very unpleasant things. People are waking up, and it's time to talk about the real world and talk about the real things. Oh, and by the way, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. So here is the painful truth. And like I said, we're going to have I'm going to create this video and then I'm going to split it into a second one because I have been requested to by many, many people. And so I hope you stick around for the second half, which is going to be your prepper list, things that I recommend. It will be generic, but you might want to look at it. Maybe I mentioned something that you haven't thought of, or in the comments below after I do these videos, maybe you'll say something that I didn't mention by who knows why. And therefore other people will recognize it, and maybe that will help them because these videos are designed to be honest, truthful, and to help people. Not everybody is on board with my way of thinking, my lifestyle, yours either probably. Maybe you're new at the whole game of trying to be a little bit more self-reliant. First of all, let me tell you right now, there is no shame in the game of trying to be self-reliant in any which way you can these days. So before I start, I want to say to you, if anybody is in your life that is shaming you, guilting you, pushing you into those corners of where you question what you believe, your convictions, and how you are trying to do your best to self-sustain and take care of you, your family, your children, get away from those people, cut them off. I do fundamentally believe that the last 2 years of our lives that we have just now, approximately 2 years, we're going into 2 years with everything that's been going on. And I don't need to give examples. There's enough of them that you already know, that I think that you have been able to already separate yourself from those that you do not need in your life. God has put you in these scenarios to protect you and to separate you. There is a reason for that. Recognize it and really try to focus on that. It's a very painful thing to go through. I myself can tell you right now that there are, family and so-called friends that, I've really had to make some decisions about also in my life, and it's very painful. I think everybody has gone through this. I have watched family members of other friends and family, not of mine, but friends and their family go through a total separation. I have seen family separate in terms of literally kicking people out of their homes because they did not agree. Not even necessarily on something like money. Not even necessarily about politics. But because one wants to hold more jurisdiction, if you will, over their personal choices about themselves than others think that they should, they were removed from the home. So this is what I'm trying to get at. There is a great divide between us. I still believe that people that are truly freedom-loving, God-loving, people-loving, Bill of Rights-loving people, I do fundamentally believe we are the majority. I just think that there's a lot of us, well, a lot of them, who haven't fully gained their courage yet. Different personalities and different circumstances dictate that. But I think that they are looking for a voice. And so therefore, there needs to be more discussions of truth because there are so many lies. So let's get to it. No one is coming to help you. That's a really hard thing to think about. That is a really hard thing to say. That is a really hard thing to come to a reality with. And yes, I know you're already sitting there thinking of, what is she talking about? What does she mean? What in the world? I'm married. I've got kids. I've got best friends. I've got all these things. Yes, you do. So do I. Men, this is for you too. This is for anybody, really. But ladies, we are a little bit more vulnerable in a lot of ways. And let me give you my reasons. First and foremost, do you really think anybody outside of your family is going to be responsible for, let's talk about feeding you? Right now, that's a cheap thing for a lot of people to say they can do and they will do because, you know, a lot of people have food on the shelves. There's food at the store. It's certainly not a lot of the things that you're used to. It's certainly not a lot of things that you like. And it's certainly not things that, you know, used to be, just like last week, a whole lot more affordable. But they are still somewhat there. So you don't feel pushed yet, do you? Or do you? That's for you to answer to yourself, not to me. But realize that we have been here before. History has been here a lot. You just weren't there. Maybe your grandmother was. Maybe your third great-grandfather was. But until you live it yourself, until you understand these facts, me too, you have to think about the idea and the fact that when push comes to shove, is somebody really coming to help you? Are they going to feed you? Are they going to help you? Are they going to shelter you? Are they going to protect you? Are they going to keep you warm? Are they going to ensure your safety, your medical needs? The answer to that is historically proven, no doubt, that when push comes to shove, that's not the case. Now, somebody's going to say, well, that's not true. You know, back in the so-and-so war, Civil War, you know, communities and this and that. Yeah. Okay. True, but weren't times a little bit different? Do you think people are as self-reliant now as they were in 1863? The answer to that is no. So you have a different level of stress and competition in order for anyone, anything, to survive. This is why I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be doing everything you can within your power yesterday, last week, to be making sure you are taking care of doing the due diligence that is required for you and your family and your home to sustain as long as possible. I cannot necessarily answer what those things are to you because everybody's home is different. Everybody's needs are different. So you have to sit down and think about those things. But why would you ever consider or think or expect that someone else is coming to help you or save you? Folks, it has only been 2 months, not even. We're still in it. People have been left behind in front of your face. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's true. People right now, in this day and age, have 110% been left behind, out of reach. Why would you be treated any different? Why would you, in your circumstances here, qualify you as being different from them over there? Think about it. If you've been going through scenarios with people in decent times, decent, where people are expected still to somewhat act decent, if people aren't being nice to you now, if people aren't supportive of you now, if people aren't helping you with, the basic needs and functions of being a good friend or family member, or for your home and for any type of crisis that you have experienced the last 18 to 24 months, why would you ever think that if anything ever just suddenly, you went to sleep on a Friday night, you got through the weekend, you woke up Monday morning and everything was different? The whole world is different. Competition is different. The food shelves are different. Wake up. You need to go today and you need to sit down. Even if it's by yourself, I encourage it to be with your spouse. Maybe even with somebody close to you in your family, maybe your mom, maybe your son, and have a serious conversation. Now, I know a lot of you out there are already long past this. I know this by my thousands and thousands of recent comments. I get you. This is for those that are still sitting there going, is all of this really, really happening? Yes, it is really, really happening. Take anybody that's in doubt and go around to the grocery stores and show them what's going on. They need to experience it for themselves. Ask them questions. Ask them, what did you pay for this last time? Was that even available last time? Oh, you need this today. Is it available? It may take you 3 or 4 or 5 stores to find it. I know that's a problem here. I know that's a reality here. Let me tell you a story. I know someone very precious who went grocery shopping just the other day, and the husband decided to go with her. Great people. The husband doesn't typically do the grocery shopping. She does. And so while he isn't necessarily in denial, he just hadn't firsthand seen it, experienced it, and was in shock of the things that are missing and the prices. The worst part about this, and I want to tell you that I personally became very angry and upset at this because it really, really bothered me. When they got home, their child, who is autistic, became very upset because there were items that this child is used to having. We're not talking about a spoiled temper tantrum, when I was 3 years old and, you want the fun dip and whatever, and mom says no. No, I'm talking about people with specific needs, processing, whatnot. And a lot of us are in this boat with people and young people and children today. And they could not handle the whole idea of the items that he was used to having are not there. Talk about a sudden change. Talk about being truly, that's the real sense of the word in terms of being triggered. And it infuriated me because it's unnecessary, but it's still happening. You have to start recognizing the reality of what's going on, and you need to be preparing for that mentally. I've made videos in recent months talking about mental illness and how people mentally can deal with it. You're beginning to see it. You're just at the forefront of a lot of potential things here, people. Let's pray everything changes overnight. I'm looking forward to being wrong and eating crow and drinking a pina colada on the beach in February with you, because I want so bad to be wrong. And things don't necessarily happen on an immediate timeline, but you have to be mentally prepared. Your children need to be mentally prepared. So here's what I'm suggesting to you in this video, and then in the next video, we'll talk about more specific items. Let's go. Start realizing that no one's coming to help you. You may be lucky and that may not be the case. Let's pray on a lot of different things here. but don't assume it. Assume they aren't. Therefore, you will go, okay, if this happens, this happens, this happens, what are some things that I would need to know or be able to do or have in order to handle those scenarios? What are they? What is most likely a problem in your area with weather? What is available right now versus not available, or a competitive item to get in your area? Is that pet needs? Is it cow feed? What are you going to do when or if we have one of the worst winters on record that prolongs through the next spring and you can't get hay in time? Right now is a great time to think of all of these scenarios and literally sit there and say, no one's coming to help me. It's not even necessarily because they're rotten people. It's because they too themselves may not be able to help you. So it's each man for himself in a sense. Assume that and think that way, because that is the way you're going to understand you have to do your due diligence first. What are those things? Do you have a disabled child? Do you have somebody with specific health needs? Are you just picky about certain things? Get out of the picky zone. What do I mean by the picky zone? This is a tip, and we'll close it out so we can progress to the next level of the video series here. I don't like black-eyed peas. Yes, I'm telling you right now, I despise them. But I'll eat them, and I'll be thankful to have them. I'm not telling you to do things and buy things that you truly, honestly, unnecessarily don't like. But at the same time, maybe you need to change the way that you think. Maybe I need to put some black-eyed peas on the stove and eat some anyway tonight. See, we all do this. You have to stop being so presumptuous in terms of that everything that you like, everything that you need is going to be there, and that someone is going to come save the day. I'm here to tell you, most likely not. You know, when we decided to become more self-reliant years ago, I had cut a lot of things out of my diet. I had detoxed and I had taken things out of my diet. And when I realized the realization that I'm talking to you about right now, I put these things back into my diet. Doesn't mean I eat them every day. Now, I'm not talking about things you're allergic to. Okay, I'm not talking about that, y'all. Y'all are smarter than that. But if there are things that you have not eaten in a very, very long time because, ew, I'm not telling you to be unhealthy. I'm not telling you to not stay the course of being a very healthy person. But I am also saying, you know, maybe one day a week, maybe you eat half of a Rice Krispie treat. Okay? You know, maybe a little bit of SpaghettiOs, which I don't personally like. You know, change your palate. Get used to a few things. Make the black-eyed peas. Because when push comes to shove, you're not going to have time to be picky. You have to make quick decisions. And all of these extra special shocks that you just can't deal with now will be behind you. You have to reaccustom your mind and your body. You take this advice however you want to. I get it. It's very subjective. But what I'm telling you is, and I'm not shaming anybody and I'm not guilting anybody, I cried because I thought about how difficult it would be to sit with an autistic child and try to explain this to them. Depending on their level, okay, I get that. But do you know how much strain that puts on that parent right now? So James can tell you, I got very emotional about that because it is so ridiculous to think about our children going through this and our elders going through this. So I'm trying to ease the burden of possibilities pre-hand. Because folks, it's not a walk in the park. All right, so let's get you a list Let's get some more apple butter going. I've been canning apple butter. Beautiful. Get the red hot, baby. That's what makes it good. And I got more sausage to can just for you because we're going to make a video. So we appreciate you watching here. I know some of these talk videos are a little long. I know some of them can be a little opinionated on my part. And I know they can be very stressful. But folks, we have to do these things for each other. I want you to think. I want you to come to my channel, not just necessarily learning how to do something. I want you to understand why you're doing something. Putting sausage in the canner, in the canning jars to put them on the shelf is a wonderful lesson learned. But until you understand the value of why and why you need to be doing these things as much as you can right now in all different ways, the why is the motivation. And that's what I want my channel to be. That's who I am, and that's who I'm always going to be. And I hope you stick around for the rest, because I appreciate you being here, more so than I can ever tell you. All right, let's get back down here and get to business. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the new subs. Thank you for just following our journey. Thank you for the prayers. Hold the line. Stay the course, Patriots. We'll see you on the next video.